Donald Trump has fired back at Joe Biden after Joe Biden's terrible Nazi-looking speech the other day. Donald Trump fires up in a wild rally after the FBI mansion raid. Donald Trump has lashed out at President Joe Biden at a wild rally, his first public appearance since the FBI raided the Florida mansion. Donald Trump branded Joe Biden as an enemy of the state on Saturday as he hit back at the US president's assertion that Trump and his supporters were undermining the US democracy. The former president also slammed last month's FBI raid on his Florida home, making his first public appearance since the August 8th raid. Mr. Trump told a rally in Pennsylvania that the search was a travesty of justice and warned it would produce a backlash the likes of which nobody has ever seen. Fucking civil war is brewing in the US. That, after Biden's speech the other day, where he's declared war on MAGA Republicans and like over 80 million people in the US, it's getting fucking close. There can be no more vivid example of this very real threats from American freedom than just a few weeks ago you saw that when we witnessed one of the most shocking abuses of power in any administration in American history, Mr. Trump said. He made a claim despite long-standing protocols by which the Justice Department and the FBI act independently of the White House. Mr. Trump told cheery supporters to Save America gathering the city of Wilkes-Barre that the FBI search was an egregious abuse of the law. He also hit back at Mr. Biden's speech this week, in which the president says his predecessor, the Republican supporters, represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. Speaking in Philadelphia on Thursday, the president launched an extraordinary assault on those Republicans who embraced Trump's Make America Great Again ideology and urged his own supporters to fight back, in which he billed as the battle for the soul of the nation. How are your supporters going to fight back, Biden? They're all fucking autistic, have no idea what they're doing. They don't even know whether they're a fucking girl or a boy, and they think there's 76 genders and want you to call them Zems. Mr. Trump slammed Mr. Biden's words of the most vicious, hateful, and divisive speech ever delivered by an American president. It fucking was. Go back and watch it. It was scary. He's declared war on 80 million fucking US citizens. And then comes out the very next day and just says, I didn't say anything like that. And fucking probably shit his pants. Mr. Trump slammed Biden's words as the most vicious, hateful, and divisive speech ever delivered by an American president. He's an enemy of the state. You want to know the truth? The enemy of the state is him, Mr. Trump said. Republicans and the MAGA movement are not the only ones trying to undermine our democracy, Mr. Trump said. The former president has repeatedly claimed 2020 presidential election, which he lost, was rigged. His party also made unfounded claims of voter fraud and central plank in its platform. Now, there's a documentary out there, 10,000 Mules. Go and watch that if you're interested in it. It's about voter fraud and how they could have possibly swayed some of the election. I don't think they did. I don't think Trump won or anything like that. But it's just, reminiscent of when Trump won the first time, ran the first time and won, beat Hillary. They were kicking and screaming, saying he didn't win. And then, as is expected, he says the same thing when he lost. We are the ones trying to save our democracy. Very simple. The danger to democracy comes from the radical left, not from the right, Mr. Trump added, which is 100% fucking correct. You don't see any MAGA Republicans out there fucking burning down buildings and smashing up places. You do see that every day from people on the left. Antifa. Not even just Antifa, regular people who hold those views. There was a gentleman asking questions, an Australian kid asking questions in the street the other day with a billboard around his neck. I don't know his name. I'll have to have a look at it. But asking some, hard questions to people to answer, and some little blue-haired bitch walks past and spits on him because she doesn't agree with what he's fucking saying. Disgusting. He was appearing at the rally ahead of November's midterm elections, which you could see Biden's Democrats lose control of both houses of Congress. Although Mr. Trump is not on the ballot, Mr. Biden, 79, is seeking to turn the vote into a referendum on his predecessor in a bid for the hold on the Senate and the House of Representatives. At the Wilkes-Barre rally, where Mr. Trump took to the stage to support his candidate in the Senate race, TV physician Dr. Oz, Trump supporter Edward Young said he had been disgusted by Mr. Biden's speech. He declared war on me. He declared war on half of America, Mr. Young told the AFP. Dueling visits by Mr. Biden and Mr. Trump to Pennsylvania, a key battleground state, come as the Republican is under increasing legal pressure over the documents found by the FBI in his Mar-a-Lago estate. Evidence, it's photos there of those top secret documents. The Justice Department said its court filings of highly classified government documents, including some marked top secret, were discovered in the former president's personal office during the raid, which he was completely within his rights to have. A detailed list of what seized was also shown in Mr. Trump's held office, more than 11,000 unclassified government documents that he claims are his to keep, but legally are owned by the National Archives. Among the papers seized were 18 documents labelled top secret, 53 labelled secret, and another 31 marked confidential. Of those, 7 top secret files, 17 secret files, and 3 confidential files were retrieved from Trump's private office. Agents also found several dozen empty folders labelled classified in the office, raising speculation that sensitive documents may have been lost, destroyed, or moved. Almost like 75,000 fucking emails Hillary destroyed. But, yeah, there's no fucking FBI raid there for Hillary. Mr. Trump, who was keeping the supporters and commentators guessing about whether he intends to run for president in 2024, has sued to have the documents turned over to a neutral special master to prove that that could slow the government's probe. No, that's just, one-sided bullshit again. Anytime Trump does anything, they go and block him, fucking raid him. There's over 35 different Trump associates have been raided in the last couple of days. When a sitting president is raiding the opposition's opposite political party and arresting them and putting them in jail, that doesn't fucking end well in any country before. I don't think it's going to end well in the US. We'll have to see what happens when Trump actually comes out and says that he's running again. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Biden, after his enemy of the state, his enemy of the state, right? After his speech the other day, I can only see it getting worse and them raising the level of violence. I don't think it'll be too far off before we see a massive Republican Trump rally go awry, and then maybe the FBI goes and pushes it in a direction that it shouldn't go in, and they get fucking railroaded for rioting or something like that, kind of like January 6th. And so if you're going to a rally, be careful. Stop anyone that's, obviously a fucking Fed, I'd say. Stop anyone doing any violence. Stop anyone supporting violence or promoting for it, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to make it look like Trump's inciting violence again, when Trump hasn't fucking incited shit. Biden come out and said that 80 million Americans are basically scum and they're going to hunt them down. But no one's fucking throwing a fit about that, are they? So this is only going to get worse over the next couple of months, and we'll see where it leads from here, eh? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.